Well, good afternoon, Calvary, and welcome to my home. I'm just wanting to kind of connect with everyone today to say hello, to say we love you, and to say that we are thinking of and praying for you. As I have mentioned, probably, I don't know, maybe every day, these times that we're in right now are, for most of us, unprecedented. There have been days and seasons for individuals that have been difficult and painful, but the widespread, the universal nature of what we're all facing over the entire globe as the whole human race is probably unprecedented. If you're like me, you might be on information overload. The last notification I got, news notification on my phone, says coronavirus can live in the air for hours and on some surfaces for up to 3 days, a study finds. I don't share that with you because I have no idea about the veracity of that, but you're receiving information about the coronavirus all the time. You're also receiving information about from your kids' schools and from your employer and from healthcare friends and from news sources. All sorts of information is coming into you. And I know if you're like most of us, there's some sense of anxiety. There's some sense of, almost like just being overwhelmed and fearful and just wondering where all of this is going. I was reading in the Word today from the book of the Psalms, and I just want to read it, share it with you. And in Psalm 55, David writes this in verse 4. He says, "My heart shudders within me. Terrors of death sweep over me. Fear and trembling grip me. Horror has overwhelmed me. I said, if only I had wings like a dove, I would fly away and find rest. How far away would I flee? I would stay in the wilderness." That sentiment probably is shared by many of us, right? Man, if I could just get away from all of this. If I could just run away, get somewhere, somehow get to the place where coronavirus couldn't touch me. Now, David's circumstances weren't some sort of worldwide pandemic. It was something very different. It was a betrayal of friends, but the sentiment, his angst over what he was going through, that's the same kind of thing that many of us are feeling, right? I want to encourage you to lean into that. Recognize that. Don't be ashamed of that. But at the same time, don't let that be where we end. Find support in the power of God. Find support in the community of faith known as the church. Find support in the truth of God's word. Find support in just the presence and knowing the truth of God's presence in your life. So we want you to know that we are on a regular basis, on a daily basis, praying for our Calvary community. We want you to continue to stay connected. Yesterday, you should have received an email from us, and it had kind of the next steps with where we're at in terms of what's happening ministry-wise. That won't be the last communication you see from us. So I want to really encourage you to stay connected to us in our social media channels, at our website, cbcjoy.org. You can also text CBC Joy to the number 84576, and you'll get regular updates as well as being part of a support network as we walk through this together. It was over 25 years ago that I first received the calling from God to be a shepherd in his body. And I think of that often during this time for some reason, about how important it is for us to have those kind of persons in our lives that are helping us navigate especially difficult times. And I'm not going to do that perfectly in the Calvary community, but I do want you to know that I take that calling of pastor, shepherd, elder really seriously, and we want to continue to provide godly, loving, compassionate, Spirit-led leadership for our family during this time. We're committed to that. I love you guys. We'll be in touch soon. Until the next time, have a great day.